been a while since I've done one of these guerrilla style, moist critical-esque videos where it's unscripted and I just kind of go with the flow, I just kind of waffle during the editing process. I hope that it makes sense. The topic of today's video is live-action remakes. I guess this is the what inspired me to make this video. I will get onto this a little bit later because I would like to sort of go chronologically. Let's just jump right into that. Let's look at Disney's live-action remakes. All right, I didn't actually know this existed, so let's have a look at. It uses what looks like real animals, which is kind of interesting. Don't really have too much of a problem with these. These Alice in Wonderland, the Tim Burton remakes, they sort of have an identity unto themselves, and plus, you hand any sort of intellectual property over Tim Burton and he kind of makes it his own thing anyway. That doesn't cross into issue territory for me. The same with this. I haven't actually seen this, and I haven't seen Sleeping Beauty for a while either, but as far as I'm aware, the Maleficent movies, and I'm pretty sure there is more than one, yep, they are like a separate story entirely. Like, they kind of derive from the original story and make it its own thing. Kind of like Wicked to Wizard of Oz. Not exactly the same, but you know what I'm trying to, you know what I'm trying to. Beauty and the Beast, Dumbo, yeah, Aladdin, yeah. The Lion King, yeah. And here it says On the Horizon, The Little Mermaid, yeah. These aren't on the horizon anymore. This is an article from quite a while ago. My issue is, oftentimes, these remakes are widely regarded as inferior to the original movie anyway, which I feel like is just a given because all these movies are so beloved that when you remake them and you change something, it's not going to be like accepted by people. Personally, this is something that is largely unimportant to me. But it's worth mentioning while we're on the topic. Yes, in a lot of these live-action remakes, they do alter the ethnic background of some of these characters compared to the source material, which isn't inherently a problem. I would much rather, instead of just taking a character that is white and making them black, why can't we make a new story that celebrates black people? Like Soul, the movie Soul, right? Not a lot of movies have ethnic minorities as the lead role, but I don't think the solution to that is taking a story that once had a white role and changing the character to be black. Yeah, again, it doesn't really matter, but wouldn't you much prefer a new story? What I mean is, it kind of devalues the virtue signaling here of making Ariel black, because people are just going to be like, okay, you've took a beloved story, you've took something that was animated, changed the art style. More often than not, the songs sound worse in these live action remakes than they did in the original. You took a movie, made it objectively worse, and then on top of that, you've now made Ariel black. So you've tagged a black role onto a lesser product. Do you get what I'm trying to say? I have an issue with you tagging a black lead onto a worse movie than the original, instead of just giving a black lead their own movie. Do you see what I'm trying to say? On the topic of inclusivity, the new Snow White movie. Yes, in the original source material, she's described as pale as snow. I think in the movie, it was changed to pure as snow. Yet again, not really a problem that she's now what is seemingly of like sort of Hispanic descent, but the problem that I presented before is still present. You took a beloved movie, you've made what in my opinion, is probably a worse version of it, and then you've put an ethnic minority in the lead, and that's just going to reflect poorly on them. Why have you made the dwarves CGI when, of all excuses to include minority groups of people, why would you not cast real dwarves in the role of dwarves? There are literally 7 roles here for real life dwarves, and what do you do? Why have you made them CGI? What is the point? Is it to make them look more cartoony? To make them look like wacky and lovable and blah blah blah? And do you not think real dwarves can achieve that look? If you want the movie to look cartoony, here's an idea. Animate it maybe. On to my next point here. The new Mufasa movie that came out. This movie here. This movie is a prequel to the original Lion King, or rather, the remake of The Lion King. This movie made a large profit. I was almost convinced it had done poorly for some reason. What, people actually like this movie? This is news to me. I thought people hated this movie. Okay, everything I've seen online, people dislike this, but apparently people like this movie. All I've seen online is how these new lions don't remotely express the same amount of emotion visually as the original art style, and obviously they don't. The new cast is worse, the new soundtrack is worse than the original. I'm not even a ginormous fan of The Lion King. I was actually only talking about this yesterday to my girlfriend because she loves The Lion King. The original is leaps and bounds ahead of the remake. It's so much better artistically. I hate this new pantheon of live action remakes we're getting, which is why I'm making this video. Would you much rather not have gotten the prequel in the animated style of the original movie? I know we got sequels to a lot of old Disney classics, like Lilo and Stitch got that Stitch Has a Glitch sequel. I know Aladdin got like 2 and 3. Beauty and the Beast got a sequel, I'm pretty sure. They were all like direct-to-video, like made on the cheap. They weren't like, they were just kind of like to make a quick buck. Why can't you make a sequel or a prequel now to the original material? Why do you have to remake it in a worse way and then make a sequel in the style of that worse way? They're remaking How to Train Your Dragon now, and it's like, is that really necessary? I mean, we just, would you much rather not like a prequel or squeeze a fourth one in there rather than going back and remaking a story we've already seen not even that long ago? The original came out 15 years ago. It's like how they're remaking Harry Potter, but I guess that's not the same because there's a lot of shit they missed in the books. But like with this, it's like you're just gonna make the same movie. We all know the travesty of this fucking abomination. Yu Yu Hakusho is near and dear to my heart. I love the original anime, so much so that I don't even really want to watch the live action because I just know it's going to be probably worse. This live action adaptation of One Piece is probably the biggest offender of this here. How many episodes are there of One Piece? Over 1,000 now. Do you really think this live action version is going to catch up? All these live action remakes of animes are never going to finish the story, so what's even the fucking point? If this in 20 years something finishes the story of One Piece in live action, I'll eat my words, but I don't think that's going to happen. I actually have to get this off, I'm sorry. It's so like... Here's the thing as well, is if it's a live action remake and it involves something that isn't human, it's so restrictive in how it can like emote and speak. Everything just looks so stiff and uncanny. Okay, so you've essentially kept the character design for Toothless the exact same. Oh, fuck off. Look, do you seriously think they're going to finish this? Do you think they're going to remake the first, second, and the third? Probably not. So you're just going to leave everyone feeling unsatisfied. Say someone watches this version, the remake, and they prefer it? Or what if it's the first time watching it, they like the live action one, and now they have to go to a different art style to see where the story goes? They probably won't remake 2 and 3 in live action. Or if they do, whatever, throw tomatoes and, you know, rotten fruit at me. But I'm calling it now, they probably won't. And if they do, they're stupid. Because why on earth would you spend so much money remaking 3 movies that aren't even that old when you could make 3 new movies and continue the story and make it interesting instead of retelling the same fucking story 3 times? Holy shit! And Disney's the worst offender of this, man. Look at how fucking stupid this genie looks, man. I can't deal with this. It looks so fucking ridiculous. It looks... First off, it's like Flash CGI, which doesn't really matter because it's not meant to be taken seriously. It's not leagues behind, but it's worse than the original movie. Did this movie really need remade? Imagine how exciting it would have been to get like a lot of really good writers, a really good director to make a proper follow-up to Aladdin, rather than just shitty like direct-to-video sequels. You could even fucking disregard them. Or, what would be way more interesting is if they got a director to somehow incorporate the events of those 3 movies into a 4th movie and like wrap it up in this big celebratory like send-off for the franchise, instead of remaking a story that is already nearly perfect. I'm getting pissed off about it. I'm getting legitimately... I'm not angry. I'm just disappointed. I think I've made my points. I'm just kind of repeating myself. This has been something nagging at me every time I go to the cinemas and I see a new, like, before the movie starts, I have to sit through 20 minutes of trailers, and I see another trailer for another live-action Disney remake instead of a new Disney movie. Make new movies, man. You guys make good movies. Why do you have to keep remaking the old ones I've already fucking seen? Anyway, thank you for watching. Stay tuned.